affected the Chicago Bears franchise?
Well, there's no doubt. I think you hear Coach Ditka, who's got obviously a very strong history with the Chicago Bears as a player and then as a coach. He calls Walter Payton the greatest Bear of all time. So it's pretty high company to be in to say that. And now, not that Coach Ditka is the total authority with the Chicago Bears, but I don't know that you're going to get an argument from very many people. What Walter was able to do on the field and off the field, I think, is what was all about. He was one of the better athletes you'll ever see at the running back position. He's obviously the all-time rushing champion until Emmitt Smith passed him up.
Yeah.
And there were times when he was running behind what could be considered a very less than average offensive line. And, there were times where literally he was the only thing that the defense had to worry about. And he was still able to rush for over 16,000 yards. So absolutely, he absolutely affected the franchise for forever.
So my topic is Mike Ditka.
Mm-hmm.
You played under him for 1 year.
I did.
What was he like? Like, what was his attitude, and how did he lead the team?
Well, I'll go from my point of reference that I know. So it was his last year as a coach, and I can tell you that Coach Ditka was seemed to be very tired at the time, very set in his ways. Coach Ditka was used to the Chicago Bears being always competitive, always winning the division, always being in the playoffs. And the year I was there, I think we only won 4 games, 4-12, I believe. And he was fired after that season. So the Coach Ditka that I watched as a kid when they won the Super Bowls, the intense on the field, he still had that fire though. Game days, he was as intense as any coach I've ever played for. And that was the season where Jim Harbaugh threw an interception that got returned for a touchdown in Minnesota. And that was a game where he started screaming, and they were screaming back and forth at each other. And we're in the Dome, which is the loudest place that you can play in, and you could hear him barking and screaming the whole time. So
wasn't that supposed to be like a run play?
he audibled out of it, and nobody got the audible except, and they were told specifically. We were told specifically not to audible that in that game. So intense and demanded accountability. I think is very intimidating. I was very intimidated by him, but was very fortunate to be able to play for him for 1 season.